Assalamu alaikum students. I hope you're all fine. Today we are starting question number 4 of exercise number 10D. I have written here the statement that a hollow sphere is made up of metal 1.5 centimeter thick with external diameter of 22 centimeter. I hope you're all familiar with the sphere, that is a three-dimensional shape like your football or a ball. These are spheres, right? So a hollow sphere is a shape that is sphere, but it's hollow from inside, it's empty from inside, it's not filled, right? And this hollow sphere is made up of metal, right? And the thickness of that metal is 1.5 centimeter with external diameter means, as you can see here, I have drawn this figure, that is a sphere, right? And the sphere is made up of metal, right? And this thickness is showing the thickness of metal. This part is showing metal, right? Of which this sphere is made. Inside it's hollow, okay? And the external diameter is 22 centimeter. Now external diameter means that from the center, the diameter, so the diameter of this sphere from external side of it, right? As two spheres are formed inside this sphere, the one which is formed from this point O to the external side, right, till the layer of metal, and the other sphere is formed from the center of sphere to the inner side of the metal, right? So the external diameter is given. So from here we can conclude that the radius of external sphere is 11 centimeter, because we know that radius is equals to diameter by 2, right? So we are given the diameter of external sphere of this whole sphere, right? And we can find its radius by dividing the diameter by 2. The diameter is 22 over 2 will be 11. It means that the radius of this external sphere means this whole sphere is 11, right? Now how can we find the radius of the internal sphere, that is from this point O to this boundary, right? So to find the sphere of the radius of this sphere, what we are going to do is that we know that the thickness of metal is 1.5 centimeter, and we know that the radius of external sphere is 11 centimeter. From this radius 11 centimeter, if I subtract the thickness of metal, then I get the radius of internal sphere. So 11 minus 1.5 comes out to be 9.5, which is the radius of internal sphere. Now let's move to the part 1. In part 1 they have asked you to find the volume of metal used to make the sphere. We need to find the volume of metal that is used to make this sphere. So here in this diagram I have already told you that this is the metal from which this sphere is made, right? And we are asked to find the volume of this part. So how can we find that? It's very simple. First we will find the volume of this whole sphere, right? Then I will find the volume of this internal sphere that I have left blank here, right? And if I subtract the volume of both spheres, then I will get the volume of this thickness of metal, and that's what we are asked to find. So let's start the question. Volume of metal that is used to make the sphere is equals to volume of external sphere minus volume of internal sphere. Now we know that the formula for volume of sphere, I'm going to write it here, is equals to 4 by 3 pi r cube, where pi, we know the value of pi, and r is the radius that we know for both spheres. We know that the radius for external sphere is 11 and for internal sphere it's 9.5. So I'm going to write here the values 4 by 3 pi, radius for external sphere is 11, so I'll take the cube of 11 minus 4 by 3 into pi into 9.5's cube. Okay, so now let's substitute the values here. On solving this term, this whole term will give you this term will give you 55558.5, and this term will be, and on subtracting these you will get your answer 1977.9. and in the question they have asked you to write it uh, uh, by writing it in scientific notation up to 3 significant figures. You will round off it to 3 significant figures and it will be 1980 now. Now the second part is to find the density of the metal that is used to make this sphere, right? Density is given and you are asked to find the mass of sphere. In part 2, you are given density of metal which is 10.7 and they have asked you to find the mass of sphere. So we need to first look at this relation between density and mass. We know that density, that is denoted by rho, is equals to mass per unit volume, right? We just found the volume of metal, right? And we are also given density of metal. The density is given and we found volume of metal. So from here we can easily find the mass, right? So for I'm going to rearrange this relation. So it will be equals to rho into volume is equals to mass of the metal. I will substitute the values of rho and volume here, right? Rho is 10 rho is density, right? That is 10.7 as it's given here. 10.7 gram per centimeter cubic into volume is this volume of metal, that is 1980 is equals to mass of the metal, and on multiplying these two terms you will get 21,200 grams, which is the mass of the metal that is used to form this sphere. Thank you.